Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about the gutting of Superman and Lois Season 4. I did not see this coming the way it did. I knew that with them getting renewed for a fourth season and them talking about budget cuts and this and that, I knew at some point they would have to keep the CGI up. And in order to do that, they would have to, fire some people. But I didn't expect them to gut half the entire cast. My God. They got rid of every single last recurring character on the show. This is unheard of. I've never ever, and I mean never, seen a television show that literally fired every recurring character on the show. This is unheard of, and these are unprecedented times we're living in when it comes to the entertainment world. Oh, CW, I don't see you lasting past 2 years. I really don't. Because the CW is not really going to look like the CW no more. With Netstar taking over, the lineup is very bizarre looking. There's even a Jesus show that's being created, which I don't see that lasting very long. Like, it made sense because, Netstar, from what I heard, is a conservative network, and, but, the thing about, religion is that, have you ever noticed that religious shows don't last long? ABC has tried it, NBC, and they only lasted for a season. And they got cut before the season was even over. And that's because religious people are very, very, very judgmental about how you depict their Lord and Savior. But that's a discussion for a completely different time. Let's get back to Superman and Lois. So, yeah. The season's not up yet. It returns back on June 20th, and I think there's about 1 or 2 episodes left. They've wrapped up the Bruno Mannheim story, and now they're going into the Lex Luthor thing. And that's going to be the main focus of season 4. And now they're going to do it without their recurring characters. In all honesty, with half your cast, is there really a point in even now having a season 4? They might as well do a reversal and cancel Superman and Lois and then just bring Gotham back, because that got canceled and stuff. I mean, at least they won't lose their characters. But this is going to look very weird and bizarre. Now, them losing characters, this is something that should have happened a long time ago. I've said this before, the cast is too big, and now they're starting to cram in mundane storylines for some of these characters. The first one to be revealed was Dylan Walsh. And so, I was shocked when they got rid of him because I like the grandfather and everything. It makes sense. The DOJ, him helping out with Superman, them butting heads, him and Lois being related, they're butting heads, and the grandkids and stuff. It made sense for him to stay on the show, not get rid of. And so I was really disappointed when I heard he wasn't gonna come back. And so I'm like, okay, if he's gone, who else are they gonna get rid of? So I assumed, okay, if the show stays in Smallville and they got rid of the grandfather, most likely they will get rid of the Steele family and everything, because is there really a point in having them on the show anymore? I mean, they served the purpose that they were supposed to serve in season 1 and season 2. Actually, to tell you the truth, I really never saw a point for them being in season 3. It sucks because I really like them. But they dropped the ball with them in season 3. Actually, they dropped the ball with them in season 2, to be completely honest with you. In season 1, John served an important, amazing purpose of misdirect, and then being Superman's partner. But then when you got into season 2, everybody was expecting this big dramatic blowout between Natalie and Lois and also Clark, and then tie in John as well. But it didn't turn out that way. They dropped the ball with the Natalie character in season 2 because her and Lois rarely interacted and there was no drama with them. There was really no drama between Natalie and Clark, except for one little spat. And then other than that, she just hung out with like the boys and Sarah. But like I said before, Natalie was such a great addition to the show because the actress was so great. And so but they didn't give people what people was expecting, a drawn out storyline about, Lois being the dimensional mother and wife to like these two, and they dropped that ball on them big time. So at the end of season 2, I assumed that was going to be the end of them. But then they threw in this whole Bruno Mannheim type thing towards the end of season 2, and it became part of season 3, now serving as a purpose for both of them. So the storyline felt crammed in there. And it was one that I particularly it was okay. Like, it was good, but it just felt crammed and everything. So I assumed, if anybody was going to leave, it was going to be them. And now, well, they're gone. But it's curious to know how they're going to wrap up their storyline. Because are they just going to live their lives? Like, Superman was the reason both of them came to that, like, Earth and everything, And then, so, like, I always assumed they would get rid of Chrissy. Because I never really saw a point in her on the show. Because it's kind of like she's just Lois' boss. And not only that, but then they made the weird decision in season 2 what was it, season 1? Whatever season it was, to reveal Clark's secret to her. And I'm all like, why? And they didn't do anything juicy with it. Here she is, this woman who runs a newspaper, and she literally stood up to Lois and demanded to Lois to like reveal whatever secret Lois had, which caused Clark to reveal like he's Superman to her. And they did nothing with that whatsoever. Then in season 3, they had the audacity to stick her in a love romance. And they only did that because they had nothing for the character in season 3. And then they stuck her with Kal, which made no sense because her and Kal never interact. I didn't even know those two knew each other. And then he was still married, going through a divorce, and she's the mistress running around, sneaking around. And it made her so demeaning as a character. This once proud, independent woman is now just a floozy and everything. So her being gone is not that bad, even though I'm going to be sad to see the actress leave. I do like the actress, but there was really no point for her remaining on the show. Then come the Cushing family. Now, I've said this before, back in season 1. They should have been dropped from the show at season 1 to have their own spin-off series where they can just have a family drama series. It would have made sense. Everything that goes on in their family is very dramatic and very good for television. But I never saw a reason for them to be on the show because every time they're on the show, they're crammed into whatever Superman, Lois, and the kids are doing. It never ever made no sense for me, in my opinion, to keep them on the show. So for them to have their own spinoff would have been great. And then in season 3, once again, they had absolutely nothing from them for them to do. Like Sarah, in my opinion, Sarah was the true villain of season 3. She was so butt-headed. And the reason why she was butt-headed is because they asked her back in season 1, hey, do you want superpowers? She declined, but then she's all like, hey, what if my doppelganger from that parallel dimension comes in from season 2 and it's like evil Sarah? And they said no. So instead, they just made her the out of control teen. And she became so annoying that I just didn't like seeing her on the show. Then there's her sister, who is barely ever on the show. And you forget she has a sister. And the family will literally all be in the same scene together except for the little sister. Then you got the parents. They made the mom mayor, but she doesn't really do anything as a mayor. She knows now Clark's secret, but she doesn't do anything with that. And she's going through a divorce. And then you have Kyle, who's just there. He was beneficial for the first season, but that was it. So it would have made sense to get rid of the entire family back in the day and get them their own show, but now they're not even doing that. So now you're gonna have a season 4 where Jonathan doesn't even have a love interest in the form of Sarah. And here's the thing, in season 4, if they introduce new recurring characters in season 4, that's going to be a slap in the face to the old recurring characters. And I bet you anything that's what they're going to do. So, and I'm surprised because this entire season feels like they had a smaller budget. How often did you see Superman do any Superman type stuff? It was all saved for like CGI and everything, which was really good when it comes to onomatopoeia, but that was about it. And so now with 10 episodes and half the cast gone and everything, it's just kind of like, is there really a point for them to have a season 4? It's not gonna feel the same. But I've said from the beginning, this show should have focused on Superman, Lois, and just their family, and that's it. There was really no point in none of these recurring characters. And now, with the cast being gone, we know for a fact Lois is going to survive her cancer into season 4. It would be dumb to kill her character off now. Because do you really want to see a Superman show without his wife and just his 2 butt-headed kids? You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm hoping with season 4, they do more Superman type stuff. I want to see him save people more like season 1, which is something he lacked in season 3. I want to hear this man give an inspirational speech, which he has never did in the entirety of the show when it comes to like the villains or the people he saves. I mean, he barely parents when, because Lois, you know, she wears the pants in the family and stuff. So this is going to be an odd season 4 to say for majorly, man. It's just going to be weird not having the rest of the cast there. And I do like the cast. That's the thing. They're really good at what they do. And it's going to suck not seeing them no more. Alrighty. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.